Goddamn right. How are you tonight? Harmontown is now in session. Let them hear you at home. Make them jealous, though. Yeah! We're so glad you're here. Welcome to the Dynasty Typewriter. Thank you so much for coming all the way downtown. Let me bring to the stage someone you know and love, Spencer Crittenden! He's no joke. Game master extraordinaire. Coming back from his sold out all over the city tour, from place to place, but mostly his couch, the mayor of Harmontown, Dan Harmon! I am your comptroller. My name's Brandon Johnson. Have a good night.
Yeah. Hip.
Yo.
Hip.
Yo.
Hop.
Yo.
Hip. Hop. Got the rhythm. Got the soul.
Yeah.
Got your mama's pussy in a bowl. I poured it like cereal, and now I'm going out to rock and roll. I fucked your daddy too. Gender equality, what you gonna do? Here's some gender fluidity. I fucked your sister, even though next week she's gonna be a mister.
The family tree.
So that was my pitch for gender equality, but it turned into like a classic, like kind of tranny joke from the 90s.
You played yourself.
I think everybody should be able to say whatever the fuck whoever they are. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I'm listening to this book on tape, Sapiens.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm assuming that was for the author, and he can't be here.
Or just Homo Sapiens.
Right, that's what I thought.
Well, that's the interesting thing. Like, I was kind of afraid to get back into anthropology because I think the last book I read on anthropology was like a 1967 book, The Naked Ape by Desmond Morris, and I think I've always been kind of an armchair anthropology fan, but it's different from being passionate about anthropology because those people read stuff and learn stuff. But the thing is, anthropology is like a real loaded gun. It's just filled with the can just says flavor. It doesn't say what flavor. It may not comfort you. Like an anthropologist may say things like this guy at one point is riffing and just says well, actually, brain size has decreased since the days of foraging because humanity's ability to create culture made room for an imbecile class. And you're just like, whoa, what the... What? And it's like whoa, loaded gun, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, you made some things like before we were agrarian, and when every single person basically when everyone was just running around oh, there's a mushroom, I guess I'll live for another hour. There's a frog. There's a piece of bacon. I don't know how bacon works. It must come from some plant or something, right? Foraging gives you all this nutritional variety, and it also demands this incredible versatility in your brain. And so he was talking about how this idea of look, if you're the whole book's, I haven't even scratched the surface yet, but the book seems to start to tell the story of how, what is it that made human beings ravage the earth? Why are we the human species, of which there are at least 6 or so that have walked the earth, many of whom at the same time, like Homo erectus, Neanderthals, all that stuff. You've heard of that before.
Yes.
We're not only we're cousins with gorillas and chimps and orangutans, but we have siblings that are gone and their blood is on our hands. And that's actually weird. There's a million kinds of fox. There's a million kinds of bear. There's only one kind of human, and it's not because they all don't work. There's room for a lot of kind of bear, and it's one species of human, Homo sapien, as opposed to Homo erectus, which I always thought was I always thought there was that,
I thought
lineage.
Neanderthals died out because they were dumb.
But they're not. I mean, they were dumb in certain ways.
I think that we used to think that they didn't simultaneously exist on the Earth, and that understanding has changed such that we think that probably 3 or 4 were kind of hanging out at the same time, right?
But there was at least a half a dozen Homo human species,
which is new knowledge.
So Homo erectus is a completely different species from us.
I like Homo habilis.
they first of all use the example of like horses and donkeys. So
Yeah.
horses and donkeys are separate species, but they can mate. So they talk about, well, we may have mated with Neanderthals. Like there's like that idea of you have
I heard we
1%
did.
Neanderthal in your genes and stuff. But horses don't really. Donkeys and horses, they're not. It's not the first thing that would come into their head if you put them in a pen together.
Yeah.
You have to get aggressive about suggesting that they do it,
It's
or
kinky.
the horse has to have issues that
Right.
demand that it's more about anger than I don't know what, but. And ultimately, they produce an offspring that's not even fertile. And then you take but that's different from like there's a million kinds of dog, but they're all the same species because they happily, you put them in a room together, you go away, have a popsicle, you come back, you got fucking weird ass boxer fucking shaped like a slinky. We walked this earth with all these different specialized brands of human. Homo erectus was really good at making tools. So good at making tools that that's all they fucking did. It was in their genes to make tools. The way when you throw a ball, your golden retriever knows how to do something better than maybe your mutt or like a bull or like a Jack Russell who's well, that's not a mouse, so I'm going to stare at the electrical outlet and lick your face until you have no more friends coming over. Jack Russells are the worst. But you have to respect them because you're you were mentally ill. If you know anything about mental illness and you meet a Jack Russell, you're just I can't judge you. You're clearly sick. You have a sickness that's been bred into you
Terrier
by some
class.
person who wanted less rats. That's not
Yeah.
cool. The dog, it's they just stare at the corner of a coffee table because they think it might turn into a mouse one day. They're insane. Anyways, but sorry. But Homo erectus, is it okay? They made these flint tools, or they had these tools, but they actually it was bred into them. They walked the earth for 2 million years making these dumbass tools. They never turned that into making tools or tools, which we are good at. Homo Sapiens, the book implies. Now I'm extrapolating a lot for listening for an hour and a half car ride to this book. That's it's a 15-hour book, and I heard someone wrote it down somewhere, and you could with the eyeballs. But the implication is that it's we're no better or no worse. It's brain size, whatever. If brain size and if it was just raw intelligence that made you dominate the earth, of course by now there would have been ants with giant heads. Or he doesn't say that because he's a scientist and you debunk that. I'm making that up. But there'd be dogs or something that would be it would just be the thing that you always go to. We kind of have that mythology in our heads, literally, that it's oh, it's all about that brain. You got to get to that brain. But the brain is really hit or miss as an evolutionary trait. It was just betting 00 on a roulette. Even that's a misconstruer, as I coined it. He said a misconstruer the other day. Really made me misconstrue some stuff. Just talk. All right. Sapiens are different. The thing that separated us out.
Okay.
So get this. This is the uplifting thing / biggest bummer in the fucking world. This guy implies that the reason why we ended up wiping everybody out, whether that meant fucking them and absorbing them, eating them, out hunting them, just making them feel unwelcome until they deleted their Neanderthal accounts and went away. Because they're I don't like where this is going. If this is what it takes to survive, I'm gonna go have a giant brain and live in the pine trees and fucking go to sleep.
That's what happened to Homo habilis.
Wait, which one is habilis? Is that?
They were excellent listeners. It was great. It just didn't win the war. It was a good skill to have at the time. It didn't win a lot of contests. It won a few important contests.
Right, but they lost the tell me more passive-aggressive wars of
Exactly.
30 million BC when the Cro-Magnons eventually said, "Go on," and they were like, "I'm out."
Yeah.
But the idea put forth in this book is that what we are good at, all of us, is it's the cynical would call it lying, which is not unique to us. Primates lie.
Primates lie. Don't let me stop.
The writers among us, if that were interested in justifying our jobs or getting through tomorrow with a spring in our step, would call it mythology. That's what we're good at. A corporate lawyer would call it the ability to handle a contract. Like, essentially, it's all the same thing. Basically, what sapiens are good at. That gets us past the topping out point of primate sophistication, which tops out, as all of us who have ever watched a sitcom or hung out in a room this size know, it tops out at 100 primates. Like, your ability to function as a group. Nobody in here, there's no cops in here, but if somebody jumped up and was like, "Hail Satan," like, we'd get confused and we'd eventually figure out what to do, but it probably won't happen because there's 100 of us. If there are 1,000 of us, there's going to be 10 people going, "Hail Satan," and they're going to get lost in the.
Yeah. They're
going to actually be encouraged by the fact that there's 1,000 people to like, and also we're all going to start going, "That's someone else's problem." Chaos. So what that's where a Neanderthal can't handle it. Like 500 Neanderthals, they can't do anything. 500 Homo erectus. Sapiens perfected the art of, like, we have the lobes in our brain necessary to believe in shit that ain't real. We're able to watch Seinfeld and hear 100 people and pretend that those 100 people represent 1 million people and just go, "Oh, Seinfeld's great," even though Seinfeld didn't come over to my house and tell me he's going to help me out tomorrow, but I'm in Seinfeld's corner. Like, Seinfeld's a flag, Seinfeld's a religion, Seinfeld's a meme, it's symbolism. It's this idea we can create like a connectivity between strangers that will never meet each other. Two Serbians that will never meet can both have been taught from childhood about the importance of being a Serb, and identify that with a flag. And they'll see the right flag on each other's arm patch or whatever in the middle of a situation. Somebody might take a bullet for somebody else. Chimpanzees can't do that. You can't, no other even human species, all of which are now extinct, can do that. So we basically, it's a bummer, a little bit of a bummer. This is what we're good at. This is why we're here. We're good at this giant mess that we've created. That's what we're good at.
Are you saying we're the first monkeys with imagination?
That's too fucking beautiful. That's too poetic. But yeah, I guess that is. I mean, we're the first human species, the first Homo in the Homo genus. Mm-hmm. We're the ones that got really good at sharing ideas that never have to be true, that can be things that never have to be concretized, but can be the most important thing in the world. Yeah. The ability to wake up in bed and say, "Because I am blank," mm-hmm. A member of an invisible tribe, a corporation, a country, a fandom, a political leaning, a gender, a race, a type of person. Because I am a quality of life person, because I am that I'm going to do this today. And it will actually supersede things that for other primates and even other human species that are now extinct, like, they would be like, "I'm not going to harvest corn based on, what did you say, Mickey Mouse exists? I don't do it." And then they starve. And then people that believe in Mickey Mouse come over the hills, and how are they having 800,000 people with spears? I give up, take me to jail.
Or teach me to learn about corn.
Or if you can, reproduce with me, and I mean, they're done. These people, they're done. Like the ones that are like, their children are being raised in this environment of no, it's called culture. It's called mythology. It's called religion. It's called lies. It's called, depending on what mood you're in, it's called all kinds of things. But it's basically like the fact that we can sustain a life based on nothing. Based on and we sometimes get frustrated by that and go like, God damn it, you get in that Fight Club red pill mood and you go, Jesus Christ, well, this fucking fact is I got a big set of balls full of cum and if I wanted to, I could fuck this fucking whole dollar store into fucking, I could make it all pregnant. Well,
Who hasn't said that?
I mean, you could and you couldn't. You could if you could somehow figure out a way to hack symbology and mythology to reduce all of civilization to a basically non-sapien mindset. Like you could turn us into animals again. Like, and we're the only species that has the power to do that. We have a self-destruct mechanism.
I was thinking that like this is like a meditation I've had on murder. Like we can't like I've had a lot of meditations on murder. I'll be doing some shows.
Homo habilis is also famous for that, for
they love
suppressing their murder meditations.
They love suppressing violence. No, but like just one of the humans, obviously they kill people, but at the same time, like you can't kill someone and exist in society. So like we have to be able to turn people into killers and then also turn them back from killers into normal people who can like function in society. Because otherwise, anytime someone would kill, they would become like essentially an unhinged zombie monster, you know? Like the fact that you can have the regret is like this weird thing. But what that means is that we can use words and ideas to work ourselves into literally a lethal frenzy that's only a temporary state of hypnosis that renders us capable of doing things we're not normally capable of and wouldn't be capable of if we weren't conceiving of this construct that we invented in our minds.
Yes.
And like that is like, it's a very human thing, but that's like, it's very crazy because otherwise, if that didn't exist, then all of society would break down. But because that exists, like sociopaths exist kind of. I don't know. It's really fucked up and scary.
Yeah. Yeah, we all live a lie. I mean, it's like when you examine currency and you go like, well, the dollar's backed by nothing or whatever. Like everything is a lie. I mean, why are we? Yeah, anything that goes beyond any Charles Manson level,
right?
Like sometimes that's why I think we're fascinated with mob mythology or organized crime stuff, is because there's a tribal mindset there, and things actually start clicking for us when we watch The Sopranos and we go, I get it. Paulie Walnuts can't tell Lieutenant Pickle what to do. I don't have to have a memory. I have imagination.